I'm Eli Blackshear, and we're at Eddie's Attic, and I just got interviewed by In My Concert Bag, and what a good interview it was.
So hard to say goodbye. Don't wanna leave it this way. You made up your mind.
Good people, it's your favorite concert guy, Mark with the Q, and you are watching In My Concert Bag vlog, The Green Room. On this episode, I sat down with Americana folk singer Eli Blackshear. Recently, he released his new project entitled In Love and War. In support of his new album, he held an album release concert at Eddie's Attic, where he won the 56th biannual Open Mic Songwriting Shootout competition. In our one-on-one conversational piece at the event, we chatted about the significance of this album during this critical time in the world and how he found his voice facing his own adversities. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this one-on-one with folk singer and rising star Eli Blackshear. Eli, I was exposed to you at the shootout.
Okay, yeah.
At the songwriter shootout here at Eddie's Attic. And you actually won that competition. Fast forward, we're here to your album release of your debut album In Love and War.
Yeah.
How do you feel today knowing that this body of work is about to be released to the world?
I'm so excited, man. I'm telling you, I'm so excited. It's been a long year. I've been working on this album all year, but you know, it's a stressful thing putting out a record. It takes a lot of financial stuff. It takes a lot of just time and energy and everything. And I was so panicked, you know, every day up until now. Today's been just so easy and so cool. And I'm really excited that people are going to hear this. We worked really hard on it, and I think that we made an album that means something. So I'm excited to get that out in the world, you know.
So when I was at the shootout, I just remember hearing your name being buzzed around the room. Like, they were so excited just to hear you, you know, in the competition. And like I said, you won the competition. What makes you connect with your fans, your audience? What makes them draw to your music?
I like to think that it's kind of like a relatability. You know what I mean? The current state of the music industry has a lot of fabrication and a lot of glitz and glam and two-way mirrors and pretty lights, you know what I mean? But a lot of the stuff that I write, I try to come from a place that is relatable to most people, you know what I mean? Like, I've been a farmer most of my life. I've been homeless for long periods of time, and I just try to talk to somebody from where they're at, you know what I'm saying? And I think that that's something that people gravitate towards, especially in an industry that is so plastic in a sense, you know.
So I see that you're from Colorado, right?
Yeah.
What made you come to Atlanta? What was the transition like from Colorado to here?
So I was in a band in Colorado for about 10 years, just under 10 years, called the Barefoot Family Caravan. And we toured around the country together and done a lot of big shows together and stuff. But we had one rule when we first started it. I mean, we were just a bunch of kids, you know, when we started it. And it was, when it's not fun anymore, we got stopped. And after 10 years, it wasn't fun anymore. And my bandmates from that project started pursuing some other things. And I was like, you know, I'm still delusional. So I'm gonna move to the big city, and I'm gonna do what I do, you know.
Right.
And I came out here, and funny enough, the only place I knew of out here was Eddie's Attic. And I knew about the shootout, and I knew about some of the people who'd won it before. And I was working on an album at the time when I first moved out here called Black Ginger that I released a couple years ago.
Okay.
And it was kind of a more independent project I had done in my room, basically. Right. But I was like, you know, if I moved to the city, I could maybe do something kind of bigger with this. And I remember, it's so weird on a day like today, you know what I mean? Like, in the gleam of my mind's eye, you know, I was like, man, how cool would it be to, like, release an album at Eddie's? So yeah, it's kind of funny that we're here today, you know?
Right, full circle.
Yeah, it really is.
Full circle.
Yeah.
So out of all the genres there are in music, what drew you to Americana folk?
So where I grew up in Colorado had a very eclectic music scene. There was lots of country, lots of bluegrass, but then like a lot of people who were really into jam bands and all those different kinds of things. So it was a very rich kind of a music scene. But when I was homeless and stuff, I was homeless when I was a teenager, and I started on classical piano, and I'd moved away from that, and I wanted to, be a rock star. We all want to be a rock star when we start. And during some of those hardships that I was dealing with and stuff, I just really got drawn in by the community around me. And folk music started being very just impactful to my life. The lyricism and the way that these songs are crafted and the real like human stories of it.
Right.
And there was a point where I was like, this is what I'm gonna do with my life.
Right. So when was the point, you speak of you being homeless and going through your trials, right? Mm-hmm. When did you get comfortable to let people into your life? Because music speaks to somebody's life. Yeah. They speak of somebody's life. Yeah. So when were you like, okay, I'm ready to share this moment?
Pretty early. Like I said, I was a concert pianist growing up, and when I was in high school, I was kind of at this school it was for kids who were struggling in different circumstances and stuff. And there's this teacher that I had, Mark Benning, and he used to always come up and he'd see me in class. He'd be like, "Man, I know you play bass. You should come down to the music room sometime." And I was like, no, I'm just trying to focus on my studies and get out of here because, I'm working and other stuff. Yeah. And I went down to that music room one day and I never left, And I was like, okay, I want to do this. Yeah. And it just pulled me to it. And as it continued to go on further and further, the folk music just bloomed into, it kind of saved me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Music kind of saved the direction I was heading down. Right. And it brought me to this life I'm living now. Right. So.
What I'm saying in this song right here. So this one's called The Wrong Side of History. Oh, have you guys heard this one? I heard the whistle of a missile that was soaring off to a distant land. Without a warning, headed toward them way over there in Iran. Marked to myself in my health, I still couldn't understand how the jerks who do this work get away with these most infernal plans. In a march down by the park and people their headlights to see. Meanwhile, folks about the coast are getting arrested by military. Turning men and women trying to live off the street and out their homes. They're taking the women and leaving them all alone. War is not for me. Have to disagree. War is misery. There ain't no victories on the wrong side of history.
So let's get into the album.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about it.
Love and War, right?
Right.
Released today.
Yes.
The album release concert. Give me 3 songs off the album. It's 12 tracks on there. Give me 3 songs off the album that speaks to you the most, and explain the songs that you like the most off your album. And I know it's hard because it's your baby, so you're gonna say all of them. But I know it's that one song you're like, oh yeah.
Man, the band I got playing with me tonight is pretty much the original band that was on the album, and they all did so great that. I mean, I had songs on this thing, and any album you're gonna have a couple songs that you're like, I mean, I don't know if this is it, but I'm putting it on here anyways. I listened to this album back and forth ever since, the CDs and everything have come in, and I love this album. I love what we did on it, but there are like 3 standouts for sure. The Wrong Side of History is a song that I wrote last July. And
you performed that at the Georgia State Capitol, right?
I did. I performed at the Georgia State Capitol.
So how was that experience?
It was an interesting experience. They wouldn't let me bring my guitar in.
Why?
Because guitars are dangerous, don't you know? They wouldn't let me bring my guitar in, so I had to sing it a cappella. I was invited out there for a Capitol Letters open mic event, and it was very interesting. It was the last day that they were in session, so they were trying to tidy up all their work so that they can go home for a few months and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was just really happy to be able to share the kind of message from that song.
Correct.
And I think that song, especially off this album version, is very powerful. And it speaks to our times. It speaks to the things that we're dealing with right now,
right? Socially,
politically, and geographically, politically, and
right.
Not every song on this album is a happy song. You know what I mean? Some of it's real songs. Some of it's truth.
Yeah.
And I mean, you live in this world. I live in this world. It's hard to hear the truth sometimes.
That's true.
You know?
Yeah. So give me 2 more songs.
Okay. Another one that I'm really, really partial to is a song called Some Other You.
Okay.
And Some Other You is about the idea of we make up these versions of people in our head. You know what I mean? And that's not the authentic version of that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Meeting me, you can get to know me and create this idea of me in a friendship or what have you. But I'm always going to feel differently in my own head, you know,
right,
in
right.
my own mind. And so it's a song about these copies that we make of people in our heads. You know what I mean? And the expectations that we put on people that we maybe shouldn't.
Right.
And I have a couple lines in there. I have this one line in there where I say, I sold the blood that I bled till there wasn't nothing left. And that's because I was selling plasma to get this record paid for earlier in the year. You know what I mean? It's a direct, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it, literally.
Wow.
And I think that's a powerful song, too.
Yeah.
And then...
I'm going to interject. I want one song I want you to talk about.
Okay.
This will be the third song.
Yeah.
When it's all said and over.
Okay, yes.
Tell me about this song. I really gravitated towards that song.
Okay, yeah.
So tell me about that song.
When it's all said and over is my, look at what we're dealing with. I have a big background in politics and in social activism and protest organization.
Yeah.
And during the 2020 protests in Colorado, I helped organize a lot of the protests in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
And I got a line in that song, right, that's don't have no questions about me, you'll find me out on the streets, I'll wear my mask, you'll wear your sheets, we'll see who's who.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what the song's about, man. It's about they're screwing us and they ain't even taking us to dinner. And you look at the news right now, right? You see how bad things have gotten.
Yeah.
It's like every day it gets worse in a way that I never thought it could.
Right.
And at some point we're gonna have to make moves. We're gonna have to stand up for ourselves and say, this can't go on.
Yeah.
We gotta do something about it.
Yeah.
It's also looking at it just in the sense of, I remember what it was like when things weren't like they are now.
Right.
I will always cherish the good times that I've been having when things weren't like they are now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you gotta remember why you're fighting sometimes, because it's really tiring.
I was telling a friend a couple of days ago, I said this is last week was the first week in a long time that I felt like I could breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Just with and not to get too political, but
Yeah.
just with the Obama Presidential Library opening, and just listening to him speak and Michelle Obama speak, to the World Cup being here in Atlanta, being across the United States, and seeing other countries embrace America, and just the joy and the happiness.
Right.
I was like, this feels like I can breathe. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why I kind of resonate with that song.
Even,
because
the other day we had the meeting for redistricting.
yeah, and they
line.
got struck down.
Here in Georgia, right?
Yeah, and it's like you could breathe. It's like, okay, there is some kind of sense, some kind of, I'm not gonna say normalcy, not yet, but there's some kind of awakening that you're seeing, and it's like finally you could take a deep breath, just one, before you continue to fight.
Right.
So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah.
There's something come around that's far, seen it come around before. Read the writings on the wall, did you read them too? Grab your women with that tape, wear your camel black parade, cause that lemony kept it made by me and you. They've got tear gas, they've got guns, flash grenades by the ton, and the devil had begun before we came through. You do the work, they keep the tape. Brother, sister, keep the faith. Be on guard, there's much at stake in more than lose. When it's all said and over, well, we all still feel the same. Looking around last January, marks the end of the good old days.
So what do you want your fans to get from this album?
I feel like what I want them to get from the album, it's what I've been saying about it, right? It's called In Love and War, right?
Yeah.
And the album cover, it's this giant mushroom cloud that's turning into a heart.
Yeah.
When I was writing the album, there's a lot of correlations between love and war, right? There's people who go off to war because they're fighting for their loved ones back home. And when things are hard, communities become strong.
Yes.
And people bond together and do what they can to get through the hardship. And so I wanted to look at the bad things that are going on in a very real and opinionated way, but also say, we have each other's backs in a way, and love sometimes can feel as scary. Love can feel like a bomb being dropped on you, but you got to open your heart to something like that, and you got to speak out against actual bombs dropping.
Yeah.
Because there's this Ram Dass quote, right? We're all just walking each other home. And when you forget that, then you forget what we're all doing here.
Right. So my last question, I love that, by the way. That was a beautiful answer.
Appreciate that.
So my last question is, when you don't have any more lyrics, any more vocals, you're like, I'm done, I think I've given the world enough. What do you want your legacy to look like?
I've always said that I'm kind of doing this for like 3 reasons out of my life. You know what I mean? I want to live the life that I want to live and do the things that I wanted to do and have a good time. I want to help people along my way and try and add something that makes their life bearable, helps them out. And I want to leave that legacy. And that legacy, I guess, is just that I want to say at the end of my life that I did something. I did something for others, that I was of service,
Yeah.
and that I did it my way. But they say we all die alone, but I don't think that's really the case, and I want to be, dying surrounded by people who
Loved
who
you.
knew that I,
Yeah.
and I loved them too,
Yeah.
you know.
I work all day to keep her off my mind, but soon I'm never far behind. It's on the phone with my best friend. When you come use my name again. Voice is cool like summer rain. Shakes my bones when says my name. Trying to figure out the deal, but I don't know the way she feels. Something new waits for me. Ain't not do if I wanna see her again. I wanna see her again.
Music can be a source of healing, loving, and raising one's voice for social and political awareness. Blackshear expresses all of this in his latest project. Not shying away from his purpose, Eli shared his heart with his thought-provoking lyrics. Beyond the music and rhythm, it was his lyrics, elevated by his tone, that pulled the heartstrings of many that attended, including me, leaving a sense of urgency to better humanity overall. Check out his latest project, In Love and War, on all streaming platforms. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all on the mic.